Evening, everybody. Tonight I'm gonna be making 6543, and I'm making C down here. I'm making a 12. I'm using 100% cotton, and this is the material I'm making. We need some interfacing. We have to make some darts, and I think that's it. Okay, so let me get my piece ready, and I'll make the one dart and then do the other off camera. Okay, I am using my heat pins, so I will have to remark my spots and dots and everything. Now, I make darts a little bit different. Let me get a pin here. I make them on both sides, and that way you get a perfect dart, because if your lines don't add up on your other side, then you know you're off. Okay, so what I do is I first pin in a couple spots. And I just mark where my dots are. I need to get a better pin. And then you get a ruler. And then with your ruler, right in the center of the dot, you're going to draw a line. And then on your next side, you're going to draw so this is where your dart's going to be. Now I come back over and I mark my front side. So just mark it again. And then take your ruler and draw your lines. Be sure you get into the middle of the dot. So then when you make your dart, put a pin in the middle, right here, right in that point. And then come back and line these lines up. And then you can look on this side, and it's hard to see, but my lines are right on. And come back and do it again. And get that line down just a tad. Get those even. And then you can look on this side and everything looks even. Okay, so now when you're gonna sew these, start up here. Sew all the way down till you get about 1 or 2 stitches before the point. And then you want to have 2 stitches in the fold and then get off your sewing machine. Okay, I'll mark the next one and I'll get these done up and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, once you get your darts done, you want to press them downwards. Now there's 2 ways you can end your dart here or to secure it. You can leave a long string and tie it in a couple knots. This is a little twisted. Or you can put a dab of glue. I use Fusion glue on mine. So either one you want to do. And this just secures the dart. Okay. Okay, now stay stitch your front neckline. And that's usually about a 1/2 inch away from your raw edge. Now get your back piece and your front piece. And I'm going to put my safety pin in my front piece. And we're just going to sew the shoulder seams together. And that's 5/8. So just match your notches up. And then what we'll do is we have to go and mark our big dot on our back after we sew this up, and we'll sew the side seams up and stopping at that big dot. All right, so sew these shoulder seams 5/8. Okay, get your back piece. And you're gonna mark your number. And this is where you're gonna stop sewing and reinforce it. Just back stitch a couple times and do that on both sides. Just get your notches lined up. Okay. Okay, then pin from your side seam all the way down to this dot and then back stitch. And that's a 5/8 stitch. Sure your darts are downwards when you sew and match up your notch. This also comes in a V-neck, and a subscriber wanted me to help with a V-neck, but I had this one already cut out. When I get this one finished, I'll cut out one with the V-neck and do that one. Okay, come to your ironing board and open up your seams and continue going 5/8 down. Okay, where you did your dot, just put a little pin in there. Now turn this under these two seams and press them down. And I just pin mine. Okay, so go to the sewing machine and you're gonna start sewing right at this edge and like one stitch after your dot. Pivot and pivot again when you get to your seam where this fold is, and sew all the way down, and do that on both sides. Okay, and that's just called squaring. So you'll have a nice finish right there. Okay, now we have to go to the neckline. And I have to apply some interfacing on a couple of my pieces. Number 10 and 12, you need to interface. So let me get that done and go check on my dinner here in the oven, and I'll be right back. Okay, after you apply the interfacing, you're going to stitch these together. The facings. And sew these at 5/8. Match your notches. I'm trying to make these videos a little bit shorter. So 5/8. Okay, then on your unnotched edge around, you're going to turn over like a 1/2 inch and press it and go all along. After you open up your seams, and you can take a little ruler and measure about a 1/2 inch. And then you're going to sew this around, or you can tack it. Okay, get your shirt, and you're going to match your notches, right sides together. The back has a couple notches. And then your shoulder seams are the seams of your shirt, or the seams of your facing. And then you're going to sew this around at 5/8. Just be sure you get everything even. Now, if you like the shorter videos, please tell me. Okay, so let me get this pinned up, and we'll get this sewn around. And then we have to layer seam it. I'll probably just take my pinking shears and go around the neckline. And then we have to fold this down and either tack it in place, you can sew it in place, or use the webbing. So let me get this done. Okay, so either get your pinking shears or your other shears, and you're just gonna layer seam this, which means you're gonna take off some of your thickness. I just use my pinking shears and I go along. Just don't cut your shirt. And I just keep going along. And once we get this done, bring it over to the ironing board. And we're gonna turn this down. And I'm gonna be using webbing tape to hold this down. Now you can sew it. They also want you to understitch. I usually don't understitch unless it's really popping up. But this is such light material that I'm not going to have a problem. So just bring this to the ironing board. And you want to get this seam. You might have to roll and get your seam so it looks just like that. This is the seam right on top. If you can't get it, take a pin and kind of put it in there and pull up. And then I'm going to use my webbing stitch wickery, I think it is. And I'm going to tack this down. And then I'll see if I need to sew in the ditch or not. Okay, once I get it down, I'll take some of my webbing and I'll put it down. And I'll press it on. Just be sure your edges are where you want them to be. Press it on. And check it. And then keep going around. Then when I get that done, I might sew around the neck. See how it goes. All right, this is what you should have so far. So we just have the sleeves and the hem left. Now if you would like to sew the facing down, just sew along here. And that way you'll just have a nice looking like seam stitch going across the front. Okay, get your sleeves. Like I said, I'm using the heat pin, so I have to mark them again. But mark all your spots. On both of them. And then we have to ease stitch. Ease stitching is just use a bigger stitch and you're going to go between the notches. So from here to this notch, all the way around, ease stitch. And I'll be back. Okay, now we're gonna sew these seams together. So match your notches. And 5/8 and then we're gonna turn under 1 1/4. Get to put your setting back to normal stitching. Now get a little ruler, and you're gonna turn under 1/4 and press it. And do that all the way around. Then when you come back, you're gonna turn it up 1 inch. Pin it or clip it, and then sew it around. Once you have your 1/4 done, you're gonna turn under 1 inch, or turn up 1 inch. So get your ruler and start measuring, and either clip it or pin it. Get both of those done, and don't forget to measure your sleeve before you sew it. You want to have both sleeves the same length. So just keep doing that, and I'll be back. Okay, now put your sleeves, or your sleeve, right side together with your shirt. And match your 4 points, which is your bottom seam, your notches, which there should be 2, and your top. Now remember, we eased these, so we're going to have to ease these in. And I always put a safety pin on my top, even though I have it marked. So get those pinned. And then find your string, your ease string. Okay, let's see. All right. And just kind of ease it in there. And you want it kind of straight. Meaning you can have your bumps on it. Like when you ease it in, you might have a couple little bumps. You can have those, but you don't want them to exceed 5/8. Because that is going to be your stitch line. So you just kind of want to get it where if you have like a little bump like this, you don't want it to extend down here. Okay, get that side pinned up, then go and work on your other side. And then sew these at 5/8. Then you can sew around the armpit again, or you can sew about 1/8 away from your regular seam. So just kind of get all your ends even. Okay. And I'll work on my other side. Once you have it pinned, carefully just kind of bring it out and look to be sure you have no big creases in it. Okay. and then start sewing. Okay, everybody, here it is. So just put your hem just like you do your sleeves, the 1/4 inch and then the inch. Okay, so this was New Look 6543. I did a size 12. Now this is the shirt I lost the video on. If anybody wants to see that, I can make another one. And it's just pleated in the front, pleats in the back with the button in the back. And that was N6712. Okay, if I can help anybody with this pattern, you know, just text me, message me, email me, and I'll see what I can do. It's a pretty simple shirt to do. And tomorrow I got a few things to do, so I'll probably not put out a video tomorrow, but the next day. I know a subscriber asked about V-neck, and I have one on there. I think it was S9333, which shows how to do the V-neck, but it was gathered. It's essentially the same thing. But I think I'll do this one, the 6543, but it has the V-neck. So I'll do that one, Tuesday. So, but thanks for sticking around. If you like the shorter videos, please tell me so I know. You know, I don't go through everything and show you everything. I'm just telling you what to do. So just leave me some feedback on that so I know. And please like, share, and subscribe. Thumbs up, which really help. It's pushing the channel. It's growing. And in a few days, we have the free pattern drawing, which whoever wins, once you email me, I'm going to send you 5 patterns that you can choose from, and then just tell me which one you want, and I'll get it out in the mail for you. So you all have a good night, and I will see you later.